Hey, Douglas here. Thanks for tuning in live. If you're tuning in live, thanks for watching the replay. If you're watching the replay, I'm working on a Sunday here, and I'm working on a course that I am creating to go with my coaching. I thought I'd share some of the stuff with you. As thank you for following me and all those things. And um, right now, um, one of the modules that I'm working on, just because I've been talking to a few people recently, and they're having trouble reaching their creative goals, and the challenge they have usually stems from the inside. It's not external things that are happening, and the main culprit is their values are not aligned with their actual goals. There's a lot of times where we have these lofty goals that spark up from either our childhood, or we're trying to compare ourselves to other people. But when those things happen, like say you have a goal from childhood, is usually our parents, right, that are forcing their ideals on us. And then when they were kids, their parents were forcing their ideals on them. And a lot of stuff was based off fear and doubt and all these things. And then we start getting these frameworks that start going off in our head. And we are just like in this hypnotic, trance of making other people happy instead of ourselves. And a lot of times we just don't know what our values actually are. We just know that we're supposed to get to a certain destination. So that internal monologue in our head of feeling like a failure, feeling like we're not doing things fast enough, feeling like we're not good enough, would just stop. And usually when people get to those goals, whether it be a midlife crisis or it would be just getting there and not being satisfied, and then going through some sort of self-destructive pattern or doing some sort of self-sabotaging pattern before you get there, you just end up unhappy. And when you think about it, on the span of time, we only have so much time on this earth to actually really enjoy our lives. And when you're in that place of joy, then you could create from that place of abundance. And so, your values, what are your values? Your values are like a generalization of your interpretation of life. So for me, like my values are being curious, of being decisive, of being playful. Those values, when I see the world through those generalizations, I'm in so much congruence. And when you can see the world through the frame that's specific for you, then the actions that you take feel like they are congruent with who you are. And that's how you're able to get to that goal, get to that transformation. And the thing with putting a goal first before your values is if you don't check in, if it's like in congruency with who you are, then you end up again making that mistake of being caught up in this loop of this cycle of feeling like you're winning, losing, and then like it just all falling apart. And so for you, like, what are your values? When you're clear on who you are, a generalization of who you are, and then being able to build your goals off that, you are aligned and you have this, the brakes are released. You're like coasting downhill when you're moving towards your goals, especially when they're more general. And then when they're closer to your values, then you're able to like get a little bit more specific, and you won't have to deal with any negative self-talk, any guilt, or even like needing to create boundaries with other people because you're in full congruency. A lot of times where we have like goals that aren't connected to our values, any sort of external doubt that comes your way will just shake it. It would just shake it from the foundation. You won't be able to focus on what you're trying to accomplish. So if you're creative and you're relentlessly going after your goals, a couple things. This coming up Wednesday, I am doing a free webinar. I'll put a link in my stories, posted somewhere around here. You'll see it in my stories if you're not looking at them already. And I'm going to go over values, how you can find out what your values are, and then attach them to a goal that has a specific outcome. just zero in on that. For most people will do 80% of lifting, of feeling like you're in full congruency of getting to your goals. If you want to know a little bit more about values and you can't wait till Wednesday, go to my website, links in bio, of course, www.curingbroke.com, and scroll down, put your email and name in that little thing. It'll show you a video of walking you through like why connecting to your values is important, creating like inner leadership into yourself, and being able to create borderless boundaries to where you can keep people close to you, but they don't change who you are. Pretty powerful stuff, especially for creatives that are just moving forward in their lives, whether you're transitioning, starting a business, or moving into a new mission, a new identity in your life. Anyway, happy Sunday, and thanks for listening and watching, and until next time.